Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to this week's Evergreen Marketing Live. Thanks for hopping on. How's it going, Trevor?
Dude, I'm pumped to be here. Well, first of all, I love being on the podcast, but yeah, this morning did cold plunge, sauna with the buddies,
Yeah,
34 degree water.
that's cold.
It was
That's
cold.
2 degrees away from freezing.
Dude, it was cold, but the wild thing is you get in the water and it takes a solid 30 seconds for your body to not just completely continue to revolt, right? Your breathing slows down, you start to get used to it.
Yeah.
But then you just start to see the beauty around you, right? Like I've got buddies out there. We're in the North Umpqua River. The sun's coming up over the top of the mountain there and it's shining through. Then we did 3 cycles of we only did a minute cold plunges each time. This time we're usually gonna do 3 to 5 minutes. We're like, we don't need the 5 minutes in 34 degree water. And then we sauna and did that 3 times. It's amazing, dude.
Nice.
So I feel great.
You get a lot of clarity from that, a lot of mental clarity. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, in the Epic program, one thing I talk about, I have a model I call the momentum meter. And maybe it's something that, well, if people want to learn about that, go to the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula podcast that the Carrot Podcast Network also hosts, where I have a whole episode on the momentum meter.
Yeah.
But in there, it's really get the transformation in business and life. So if we want to head towards transformation in business, we really want to drive a new business at a new level, we have to lead towards transformation in our lives first.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way that we get there, moving on this momentum meter, check it out in that podcast, the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula, look up new momentum meter. You got to get into the physical energy part, move your body every day, sweat, but then you got to get into mental clarity. And so this is one of the ways that does help me do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's more physical for me.
That's cool.
Mental for me is getting a massage for 45 minutes with meditation music, or I've got some Joe Dispenza meditations that I'll listen to once or twice a day, little 10-minute ones. Those are great. And just reading the Bible in the morning, man.
Yeah.
Those are great ones for me.
That's a great way to start, man. I actually, talking about mental clarity, I cut out sugar and alcohol, I don't know, about a week and a half ago, just cold turkey. And you know me, I got a sweet tooth like nobody's business.
Yep.
And if it's not sugar, then it's like chips or something that turns into sugar. But yeah, I cut both those out, cold turkey. And it was like, the first 3 days was kind of rough. It was like, my body was like, what are you doing to me? You know, like headaches and just not feeling good. But like, after those first few days, when the physical cravings kind of started to die down, it's like, oh man, this is good. I feel
huge,
sharp.
Dude. It's huge. And like I say, guys, go to the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. We have stuff where we talk about this stuff, and maybe we'll dive deeper on an episode on the Evergreen Marketing Show. But mental clarity is key.
Yeah.
Because if you're wanting to make your marketing better, if you're wanting to do the topics we're going to talk about today, like on the credibility and boosting conversion of your site, if you want to drive your business forward, if you want to have more joy in life, mental clarity, I think, is something that so many people lack. And I walked through with my Epic group yesterday how I trimmed my screen time down by like 60 to 70% over the last 60 days.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I did it because my willpower, like you can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it with willpower. I had to put fail-safe systems in place. Once I got probably 2 weeks into using my phone completely different, so it wasn't a distraction engine, and now it's like a tool again.
Yeah.
Dude, mental clarity just popped. Like you have time to go do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
So, dude, I love it.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, it's funny. You could do so many things to like try and get your mental clarity up. You could try all the mental things, but without the physical too, like without those physical changes, you hit a peak,
Big time.
You hit a ceiling.
Big time.
All right, everybody. We are talking about marketing today. I promise. We're going to be talking about ways to double your site's credibility in less than an hour. These are really easy tricks, y'all. So yeah, I'm not going to blabber on too much, but if you guys have any questions, whether it's related to this topic or not, put them in the chat. We'll answer them in a bit. But yeah, let's dive into the episode. Let's roll the intro. What if you could significantly increase your leads without increasing any of the traffic going to your website? Well, you can. And if your website is lacking these few things we're about to talk about, people are going to bounce. They're going to go to your competitor's site. That's just the truth of it, especially if they're searching online, they're going to Google trying to find you. So our goal by the end of this episode is for you to be able to get on your website, whether that's a Carrot site or another website. Hopefully it's Carrot, but in under 60 minutes, put these 3 things into practice so you can literally probably triple your credibility to go from like a bone stock website to something that people land on and they go, wow, like, okay, this person's legit.
Yeah.
I actually want to work with them. That's what we're talking about. If you're new, this is your first time here, welcome to the Evergreen Marketing Show by Carrot.com. Every week, we're here to help you master online marketing so you can build a business of freedom and impact. If you're with us live, put your questions in the chat. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you're watching after the fact, join us live every week at 11 a.m. Pacific in the Facebook group, community.carrot.com. What we do is we talk about this topic for about 10, 15 minutes and just kind of break it down, the psychology of it, what to do. And then we'll do like a screen share coaching call portion. We'll answer any of your questions. So pop them in the chat and let us know. But Trevor, let's talk about let's take it up a notch. So we're gonna get into the tactics, like the meat and potatoes, exactly what to do on your website. But before we went live, we were talking about how it's super important to understand like why credibility is important.
Yeah.
You know, I think in my perspective, most people look at it as like, okay, I built a website on like Wix before or GoDaddy, and you get the website template and you're staring at this blank template and you're like, okay, I got this template. Now I got to fill in all my stuff. And they give you this cheesy little, it's like 3 little blocks, and it's just text with a couple little pretty quote things on it. And you're like, I just need to copy and paste some text in here and throw it on there. And I've checked the box. Like I have credibility now. Now my website's legit and people are going to want to do business with me. It doesn't work that way though. Like it's not believable.
No, what we're talking about right before, like I'm a big believer in teaching people how to be a great marketer, right? In this podcast, in the Evergreen Marketing Show, one of the things that we're going to do every single time is we're going to teach you some tactics, right? We're going to bring you tactics because we want people to be able to walk away with this thing to go execute. But I'm a big believer in like, I don't want to teach you the tactics and you not know why you're supposed to do that thing, right? Because then we turn into checkbox marketers. Well, the guy said I was supposed to do it, so I'm going to go put 3 up there and check the box and go. And therefore, because I put 3 of these things there, I must be marketing at the high level, right? But if you're not understanding why that thing is supposed to go there, what problem it's trying to solve, and the nuances of how to make it from good to great, sometimes those jumps are very, very fine jumps that most people won't catch unless you're a master marketer. But they can mean the difference between okay performance and just crushing it off the charts. And then the average person looks at the 2 sites or looks at the 2 marketing campaigns and goes, I don't understand why that person is performing. I have those things. It's because the nuances we're going to talk about today. Okay. So the first thing is when you're thinking about credibility, we have to ask the question, well, why does credibility exist in marketing? Like, why is it even a thing we're talking about? Well, the first thing is we need to be believable, right? So if we have a solution that we have as a real estate investor, an agent, or someone in the home services, people need to believe and trust that what we're doing can solve their problem. It can solve it well, the way that they would like it for it to be solved, and it can solve it in a way that's trustworthy. Like you're going to follow through on it. It's going to deliver what it is that you're promising. And especially in the real estate market, there's so many options. Okay, there's so many options. I can go sell my house to 35 investors locally, 150 real estate agents locally. Like, which option do I choose, right? And so one thing that pop in your mind is like, I'm going to put this testimonial here so that what can happen. And it's not so that I can check the box because Brady and Trevor said to put X amount of testimonials on your site. It's no, I'm putting this particular testimonial here so that it can eliminate this objection that I know my common prospect has. This one objection. Or one thing we were talking about before that we have to remember when it comes to credibility is well, credibility for what? Right. So we have to understand the context by which that person coming to us even came to us. So JP Pirtle, biggest home buyer in Louisville, Kentucky. And he's been a client of Carrots for years. We had a chance to hang out with him in his stomping grounds a few months back at the Epic Intensive in Louisville. And JP's a big business guy, multiple 8-figure company, right? And he has driven a lot of his marketing from billboards, TV, things like that. So we know that his new site that our team is building through our services, our concierge website, it's going to be this amazing looking site, uses all the Carrot performance stuff, but stands out, right? It needs to be amazing from billboard. So if we're thinking about that and someone's watching a radio or someone's watching a TV commercial or billboard, and that's the context by which they're coming to your marketing, we have to say, well, amazing. When someone lands here, I should be continuing that conversation.
Mhm.
So on his site, it says as seen on TV. It brings credibility immediately in there. Okay. So that's the first thing is what's the marketing context? If someone's doing a Google search and your main marketing is SEO through Google, we know that that person is likely seeing many other options.
Yeah.
They're probably clicking other websites. So the context of the credibility in that case is my credibility now needs to juxtapose me versus other options.
Mhm.
Right. It's like, oh, shoot, the credibility I should be adding, should be there so that I can be seen as the better option versus the others they're seeing in a Google search. Right.
Yeah.
So now let's look at the other way. Then I'll toss over to you. The other way that we need to look at credibility isn't just where they came from, what marketing channel. Okay. It's what is your positioning? So when we say, well, credibility for what? It's not just throwing a testimonial up there, right? Hey, Johnny was great to work with. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
It's going, well, what is it that you say that you're great at in your market? Like, why should people choose you? What's your positioning? What's your unique selling proposition,
Mhm.
right? If you say that you're the fastest, that you can close the fastest in the market, or if you're an agent, you sell the fastest, there's the least days on market in your listings, great. The credibility should support that. Okay, so if we're going to put testimonials up there or data or something like that, it should support your positioning right out of the gates.
Mhm.
Okay, the testimonial towards the top of the website, we'll show you guys some examples in the coaching program part of it. It should specifically support that positioning.
Mhm.
Hey, Johnny sold my house, or Johnny bought my house in under 4 days, just like he promised. It was amazing. Right. If that's what Johnny's marketing says in his direct mail, if that's what Johnny's positioning says elsewhere, the credibility should support that thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you the fastest? Are you the longest, running? You're the most experienced. Are you the most trustworthy and credible? Are you the most reliable? You close on 100% of the contracts, that go under contract. Are you low? Are you the best local solution for this part of the market? Okay, once again, think about that. What am I trying to build credibility for? And then specifically look for and add the credibility pieces that support that.
Yeah, that one is huge, man. We did a podcast episode, I think a few months ago on that. So not too far back in the
Mhm.
feed. Go listen to that episode on how to find your unique positioning. But yeah, that's good stuff, man. The last thing I would add before we get into the tactics is like just take a few minutes to be thoughtful about it,
Yeah.
Like you were saying, we don't want to become checkbox marketers, but like invest a few minutes, okay, half hour into finding really good testimonials and making them look great on your website. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
It's worth it because they're going to be there for a long time.
Mhm.
Like you're probably not going to go update those testimonials for a while. So just take a little bit of extra work. It's going to pay off.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, so the three things. The first one is credibility bar. This is super easy. If you are a care member, it is something you can just drag, drop, and it's going to go right under the hero section of your website. So this is right below the very top of the website, right under your opt-in form. And it's just a thin little bar that goes across the screen and has a few different things in it, like 5-star Google rating, 5-star, or we're on Better Business Bureau. Things like that. There's a few other ones. I'm not looking at it, but what else would you want to throw in a credibility bar?
Yeah.
The ones we have, it's already preloaded. Like they're just in there.
Yeah. There's a few things. So going back to what I mentioned before of what am I adding credibility to do? Like I'm adding this credibility so that what can happen, right? Not so that I can have credibility on my site, right? Like let's go to the fitness side. If you're trying to get in really, really good shape.
Yeah.
And your trainer says you should do these exercises for this number of reps and you should take this supplement or this whatever. You can do that blindly, but it's better if you know what that supplement does, what the purpose of it is. It's better if you know why those workouts, like why this one and then that one, and they're stacked up. Well, because it helps to work this whole muscle structure out and blah, 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 blah. Right. So in this case, once again, in my credibility bar, I'm going to say, what's my marketing source? Like where are most of my people coming from? So that's going to set the tone of it. Do I need to, if they're from Google search, do I need to compare against the others that they're seeing in Google search? Do I need to, if most of my stuff is coming from TV and billboards, it's offline, do I need to bring them in and show them, the same, continue that story?
As seen on TV bubble or the commercial on the page.
So that's number one. Number two then is once again, what is my positioning? So what am I trying to support? And part of that is the big subjections you're trying to get rid of. So there's two things you can do. Probably three, but one of them is the testimonials, right? That's probably the easiest and simplest one. Put one of your best testimonials or reviews right there underneath the hero section. I'm looking at one right now, soldfast.com. I think that the testimonial could improve on this one, but it just says they gave us peace of mind, right? Such a great company to do business with, right away, very comfortable with all the walkthroughs, offer and closing. They gave us peace of mind since we'd relocated out of state. Highly recommend. So that's good,
Yeah.
right? But I would probably pick, once again, if your biggest objection is that people think that you're going to make them a low offer, or if you're an agent, it's, well, why should I list with this agent? Can't any agent sell my house? Right.
Yeah.
In your positioning is, well, we sell for the highest price.
Mhm.
Put a testimonial there. Marsha sold my house for $20,000 more than I even thought. She created a bidding war.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing. I want to see that
Yeah.
if I'm looking. Or you could put a piece of data. So that's the second thing that I'll suggest for people. Put a piece of data there. I've seen this happen with real estate agents. It can happen with any business. So I'll give an example with real estate investors. Is going back to that example, there's an agent we worked with that did sell houses for faster, and the MLS data actually supported it. So they pulled the average time on market for all of the other agents. That's all public record in their MLS thing.
Mhm.
And hers was actually among the fastest. It was like the second fastest in the thing. So
That's awesome.
So she put that data in there. We sell houses on average 47 days, which is 72% faster than every other agent in this market, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or we sell houses faster than 300, than every single other agent in Douglas County, or whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. In the real estate investment space, it could be, we've made 755 offers in the past 12 months. You can be the next. So you use a data point, right?
Yeah.
It could be, on average, our sellers put $22,000 more in their pockets than other alternatives.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Close in X amount of days, guaranteed, never missed a contract. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We close in 100% of contracts.
Yeah.
Over the last 7 years, 755 in total. Can anyone else say that? Question mark.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We're
right?
the actual cash buyer, things like that.
Exactly.
We have the funds to close.
Yep. And you put that right in that right underneath the hero. The hero's the top of the site.
Yep.
The reason you do that is because that's where the top of the site is, where the call to action area is. The main one is. You want to have credibility right there when they're looking to make a decision.
Yeah, I think one of the common mistakes is people think like, oh, credibility or testimonials need to go somewhere on the website. It needs to go on just the testimonials page.
Yeah.
It does need to go there, but not only there.
Yeah.
So one of the things you've mentioned is a credibility sandwich. So anywhere they're going to opt in or give you their information, you need to have credibility stacked on top and below it. Okay.
Yep.
Next thing. So let's talk about testimonials real quick. I mean, we've already been talking about them, but you need testimonials on your site. Let's talk about the good, better, best version. The best version is like a video testimonial.
Yeah.
This is you with your cell phone at closing, you and the seller saying, hey, would you mind telling me about your experience, what it was like working with me, so that other people can know kind of what it's like working with Brady Buys houses? How were we able to help you? What did you expect?
Yeah.
Just some basic questions like that. Get on video, shoot on your cell phone, put it in your website. I think that's the best version.
Yeah.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you think differently, but a better version, not better than that. If that's the best, then the better version is like I like what Bo Hollis does on his website, simplysold.com. He's got pictures of properties he's closed, and he's got a little red thing that says sold in the top left corner. So it's the actual property. So you can tell it's a local property. It says sold. And then right under that, he's got a text testimonial, like really short, I think maybe less than 10 words of like, text testimonial of how he was able to help them.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's irrefutable because it's a picture of the property.
Exactly.
Dude, and then go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I'll go one step further on the video side. So I 100% agree with you. Video, and when we talk about the quality of a reviewer testimonial, what we're talking about is the believability, right? Yeah. Right, because a lot of people are just skeptical today, as they should be. There's a lot of people
now with AI. It's like, skepticism is off the charts.
There's a lot of people doing not good business, and what we want to do here at Kara is help be a major driver and do an amazing business and being that beacon, in the world, where you can be a beacon in your community or in this industry for just doing good business. Okay, because this industry is notorious for being known for those very small percentage of people who are not doing good business that make more of the industry look bad.
Yeah.
So we're looking for believability. So like Brady said, the video is the most believable. But where the challenge is when it goes onto a website, most people don't want to click the video to see what's in the video. So if you can imagine you're on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Netflix, okay, in any of those video formats, picture yourself, picture TikTok, Netflix, Instagram, YouTube, if it had no text around the videos. All you saw was a thumbnail. And that's what made you have to determine, am I going to click this thing to determine what's in this thing or not?
Yeah.
We're all not gonna click those things. It's all gonna be thumbnail driven. So instead on TikTok or Instagram, what you see is you're gonna see text. There's gonna be a title for that thing. Hey, the day I went to the farm, or whatever it is. There's gonna be a little sentence of a description that gets you, yeah, I'm interested in this thing. I'm gonna click this thing and watch it. On YouTube, you're scrolling through, there's gonna be the video, right? Which the actual picture should hopefully grab you in. But there's the title and there's a description, and it describes just enough to say, oh, is this relevant to me that I want to click it? And I think that's what a lot of people miss with their videos on their website. Is your video have one there, but remember, people are scrolling. They're not in the mode to sit there and ready to watch a 3-minute video at 11:30 at night or at work.
Yeah.
So you still have to take the best part of that video and bring it out into text and put it around it. So you have the video, put right over the top of the video the headline. What is the objection we're trying to eliminate with this? What did we help that client do? And if that client, let's say, was going through probate and their family was in multiple different areas, and they had another investor drop out of that, canceled the contract last minute and strung them along because they weren't doing good business. And you paid them a fair price and they were pumped about it and closed on time, you might say, pull out their words from that video. Another investor backed out, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Period. And then right below it, but Brady, followed through with all of his promises and paid me more than I expected, or something like that. It's a long headline, but you get the idea.
Yeah. And then maybe on the thumbnail, you could just have like, I was nervous, ...
Exactly.
And then a still of or a photo of the seller.
100%. Because now when someone's scrolling through, they're going, oh, shoot, I'm in probate. Oh, I'm nervous about investors pulling out on me as well. I'm going to click that now because that's relevant to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the best. Then like you're saying, that the next best is some sort of real picture of the real client, real house.
Or you shoulder to shoulder with the seller. It's just as good too.
With text. Once again, you always got to have text in there. And I'm going to give you varying degrees of believability. We've all seen testimonials where it doesn't have the person's name. It just says -client, or it says their initials -TK.
Yeah.
Or
it's the worst.
Or it just says Trisha or whatever. The best is, dash Brady Winder, underneath it, Roseburg Home Seller 2024.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Okay. And if you have a picture of the house, the actual house, you don't have to put the address, but right there underneath the caption, we bought this house on Oak Avenue in 2024. We're grateful. We can help you too.
Yeah.
Right. Put the street name on there. That what we're trying to do is make them not just believable, because if they're real, it is our job to make sure people see through all the clutter and all the crap online to go, no, guys, we're going to show you, we're going to be transparent. To me, it's transparency.
Yeah.
Okay. And most marketers are afraid of transparency.
Yeah.
And I think the more transparent we can be, the better.
Yeah. You're afraid. If you're afraid of transparency, you got bigger problems there. You don't have something legitimate enough to offer, or you're hiding something. So yeah, that's good stuff. Okay. So we've got, so credibility bar, that takes honestly 30 seconds if you don't change anything. Just drag and drop it in your website. But if you want to link out to like other platforms, like have the Google 5-star review thing, link out to your Google business profile, maybe it takes you 5 minutes then. Testimonials, maybe it takes you 20 minutes to go through, get a couple testimonials or reach out to people and put those on your website. Not very hard. And for the things we're talking about, guys, you could use Canva. Like, just use Canva for this. You want a video for your thumbnail? I just did this last week. Go to Canva, look at YouTube thumbnails, drag in the text, that key phrase that the person was saying that's really going to grab someone's attention, and have that as your thumbnail on your carrot site. Last thing is, I wanted to say like, okay, do your about page, because this is critical, but we're talking about things you can do in less than an hour. So you should dial in your about page, write in about me, bio, whatever. I think we covered that on an episode not too
Oh,
long
yeah.
ago. Yeah, we went
Yeah.
deep on that. So we're not going to talk about that, but you need an about video on your website.
Mm.
If you have one, I actually got some data. We've shared this before, but if somebody's on your website and they watch a video and they complete that video, they are on average 80%, 81% more likely to turn into a lead than those
Yeah.
who don't watch a video on your website.
Mm.
81% more likely to turn into a lead.
Yep.
Your conversion skyrockets when somebody watches a full video on your website. It's crazy. So before we went live here, I was messing around with ChatGPT and came up with a prompt for you guys. I've actually used this. It works really well. I'm just going to read this prompt off real quick. I'll also probably copy and paste it, put it in the show notes. It goes like this. Write me an about our company video script, no less than 150 words and no more than 300 words. That's key because that's going to land you maybe somewhere between 1 to 2 minutes, depending on how fast you talk. Act as a real estate investor from Roseburg, Oregon, from Brady Buys Houses. Include my core values. If you have core values, you copy and paste them here. Include my unique value proposition of insert value prop here. I'll say being the most trustworthy home buyer in Oregon and my number of years of experience. The target audience is someone who wants to sell their home fast for cash. It's important to give ChatGPT the context. So a target audience is someone who wants to sell their home fast for cash. Write it in a way that demonstrates firsthand expertise, experience, builds trust with viewers, and positions me as a trusted authority that can help them sell their house in any situation. The tone should be friendly yet professional. I tried that on the first try. I got a pretty dang good about us video script without having to do any tweaks. So if you're putting lazy prompts in a ChatGPT, you're probably not going to get any good stuff out. But that's yeah, I got a pretty good video script with that. So anyways, throw that prompt in ChatGPT, customize it, pull out your cell phone. You can even get a teleprompter app if you want to and just read it off of your screen or write it down, whatever you want to do. Put it on your computer in front of you. Read this and record a short video. It's better if you can memorize it and do it in bullet points. It just feels more authentic, but whatever you got to do. Read it, record a 1 to 2 minute video, upload it to YouTube, put it on your Carrot site. I'd say put it somewhere in the middle of the homepage, put it on your About page as well. And yeah, I mean, that's going to do you wonders. At the end of the day, people want to do business with people. And if they can see you, they see a face behind the company, it's going to increase your conversion, especially if you're doing things like if you're doing TV ads, like we've mentioned Jeremy Resmer before. His acquisitions guy is in the commercials, and so they have the same commercial, the same video on the website. So there's a clear connection from the other marketing channels to the website, like Trevor was talking about in the beginning. If they're watching a TV ad or they're coming from Facebook, there needs to be a clear connection so they know they've landed on the right website.
Yeah.
Because it could be, they might have clicked on the wrong thing. They have no idea. So they need to know, oh yeah, this is Brady's website. I'm in the right spot. This is where I wanted to be. So yeah, about me video, most people aren't willing to do that. They just aren't, man. They're just afraid to be on video.
Dude, people are, and obviously, well, we were me and Pete on the team who runs our customer experience team. We were talking to a really experienced investor about a month ago, and he's wanting to ramp up his online marketing. He's been a cold caller for his whole life, like the last decade.
Yeah,
and it was funny on the call, and many people know who this guy is. But on the call, he goes, Trevor, I'm like seeing the future of being online. And I'm like, dude, we've been talking about this for a decade. And I think it's still just getting started, right? Yeah. Like you're not behind the curve at all, but thank you for finally realizing the wave that we've been seeing coming forever. And we're still in it thick.
Yeah.
But what he said was, he goes, dude, I don't want to be anywhere in my site. Not nowhere. And I said, okay, we can make that happen. I showed him examples of ones where the owner was nowhere on the site. And I said, it can happen for sure. But there needs to be, I feel, people on the site, right? Yeah. Not that you can't get leads with no people on the site. Not that you can't get leads with stock photos. You go look at Opendoor. Most of its photos are probably professionally taken stock photos that they took, but they're stock. It's probably not a real customer on there, as an example. You can. But if we want to maximize the performance of our marketing, we step into believability, we step into credibility, we step into relationship. So it's not a question of, can you get by without a video on your About page? Yeah, you can. Most people do, and they still get leads and close deals. But the question is, do we want to close all those little leaky buckets of credibility that there may be that will help us when we stack them up when compared to the other solutions and help us win deals that right now you're actually losing some level of deals if you're doing any level of marketing by not having these things on there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so to me, it's not a black, white, you don't do this, you're not going to get results. You do this, you will. It's if you're doing any level of marketing, you're not doing these things, then you have left some leaky buckets and you are not maximizing your performance potential while other people may be.
Yeah. It's so interesting, man. It's like people think about, as a real estate investor, like they treat it as a brand in the sense that, oh, I can trust a software company, or I can trust a company that sells physical products. So I can get away with like no
Mhm.
face in the brand. And you can,
Yeah.
but it's not ideal. Like people
Mhm.
will trust businesses, like people can trust Carrot. We have a product that we sell.
Yeah.
But a real estate investor, you're like boots on the ground. You're there in person.
Yeah.
It's people doing business with people.
Yeah.
It's just totally different.
Yeah.
They're not there to buy soap or sign up
Mhm.
for software.
Yeah,
It's
they've
totally
got to
different.
trust something. I think that's the thing we need to remember is they've got to trust something.
Yeah.
And the question is, what are they trusting? Right? Are they trusting the person, or maybe you have an amazing process? Right. So
Mm,
an example that I brought up before in our content is Terra Firma, right?
yeah.
A company that at least they were locally based. I think their headquarters in Portland now, but they have a big office here. And they're a giant company, right? Tens
Yeah.
and tens and tens of millions of dollars in revenue in the foundation repair side of things. Great brand. Theirs is a process you're trusting.
Mhm.
But I bet in the first X amount of years, it probably was the person. It was probably the owner, Ryan.
Yeah.
And it was the guy, because he was the guy who would show up and make sure that it worked and it was a good quality thing. But eventually, if you want to step away from the trust being transferred from you and your track record or your ability to build connection, we then have to say, well, what are they trusting?
Yeah.
They're trusting a process, a proven process. We have to document what that proven process is, and Terra Firma's done an amazing job with
Yeah.
it.
They've productized that product.
Yeah, they
that
product
process.
and they've put a guarantee on there,
Yeah.
which helps you even more. So that they say, hey, this project, we're not the cheapest. They're probably the most expensive in the market
Yeah.
almost every time
Mhm.
by a wide margin sometimes, but they give you a 100-year guarantee.
Yeah.
And that guarantee transfers to the next owners. So you're looking at it going, dude, so I'm never gonna have to worry about this thing ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pay a little bit more for this because I'm never gonna have to worry about it. I'm trusting the process. So if you are wanting to have your website devoid of you, you can, but we have to say, what are we having them trust? Or we trust, what is my proven process? Name it, show good examples of before and after, show the transformations your clients have had. They have to trust in something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true, man. That's good stuff. That's good psychology, man. All right. That's about all the nuggets we have as far as what to do. I mean, guys, you really can get that done in under an hour. If you're really trying, you can probably get that done in 30 minutes. So really, there's no excuse to not do these things to your website, because you don't have to increase how many people you're driving to it. You don't
Yeah.
have to do more ad spend. You're going to get more out of your ad spend and any more of your marketing if you just do these few basic things on your website. So go do it. We're not making any money off of you doing a few more things on your website. We just want you to be successful and close more deals. Okay. So that's all we got there. That's the end of the podcast portion of this. We're going to pull up our screens in just a second and share a couple of examples. And yeah, if you like this, share it with someone you know. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. But let's switch over to the live portion. If you are not on here with us live, you're listening to this after the fact, join us next week, 11 o'clock Pacific.
Okay. And on the live portion, we're probably going to show us doing some of the things that we just taught. So if you guys want to see that in real action, stay for the full hour and we'll help you get it executed.
Sweet.
Cool. Appreciate you guys.
All right. All right. I surprised you there, Trevor. You ready to screen share?
Let's do it, man.
I
can
thought it'd be
screen
cool to share up. I don't know if you're ready to share JP Pirtle's thing, or we could share
Yeah.
Bo's site too. He's got a couple of those testimonials we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to show you guys some testimonial examples. We were talking about the good, better, best versions of, like, video versus still photo, and if it is a photo, what does it have? We're going to show you credibility bars too.
Okay, I'm almost there. And guys, if there's any questions, so in this portion of the session here, if there's any questions, hit us up on the questions. I would say probably first the questions that are related to credibility, or if someone watching this live had a website and they wanted to link it up, send it through, and we'd be happy to dive into one and bring it on the screen and kind of give some live pointers and tips and what we would change.
Oh,
So first person, pop in a URL, and we'd be happy to do that.
sorry, you guys are popping in questions, and I have my tab shifted over. I couldn't even see them. Tony, Casey, okay, good
Cool.
questions. Tony says, "What's up, Tony Stewart?" He said, "I used ChatGPT to give me a list of questions for my testimonials with sellers. They were so happy with the experience that the video went 23 minutes. That's a good testimonial, man. Keep it. Yeah, put the full thing up as a case study. Don't trim it down. Or if you're going to trim it, use it as a separate version.
Yeah, and you can chop it up too. Like those are the best ones because you have the big long one, which is good. But then once again, Tony, I'm going to pull back as a marketer and I'm going to watch that whole thing. And I'm going to go, before I watch that thing, I'm going to write down what are the objections that I commonly hear from my clients, right? It could be, once again, the common ones for a real estate investor that does flipping or wholesaling off market, property acquire is, well, they're not going to offer me, what it's worth. It's going to be, are they actually going to close or close on time? Are they trustworthy to be able to follow through on this? Can you really sell this quickly?
Yeah.
Right. So there's only 3 or 4. With real estate agents, it's pretty much the same. Like, why should I work with you? And my Aunt Sally also has a license.
Right.
Okay. But there's a million of you. Why should I work with you? I don't want to pay your commission. Are you worth it? Right. That's another objection that pops up for people. Why don't I just for sale by owner this instead of listing it with you?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be too much time and hassle. I don't want to have people going through and doing open houses and I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's probably 4 or 5 or 6, right? Or like, can you actually sell it? I already had a listing expire,
right,
and it went 6 months. They couldn't sell it. You're actually going to sell it for what I'm wanting to? So it's probably 4 or 5. Write those down and then watch that video.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, I've got this in mind. I know my marketing channel they're coming from is coming from PPC or SEO or built my billboard that I had up. And go, okay, what questions might be in their mind? What other things are they looking at in comparison to me when they're looking through that channel? Or what message am I putting on that channel if it's a billboard? If it's SEO, the thing that we need to do, like I said, just to reiterate, is they're likely kind of comparing a little bit more because they're going to Google and clicking some other links. So we need to be able to see, is there anything in the video that can help me compare against other options and plant a seed of doubt in the other options? Next thing is go through the video looking for them addressing any of those objections that you put on there. And if they do in 20 minutes, they might address all of them. Who knows? And go to someone on Fiverr or whoever you're going to have edit the video and say from 1 minute, 58 seconds to 2 minute, 32 seconds, chop that one from blah. And so have them chop it. You get 5, 6, 7 videos out of it. All of them go up on YouTube titled for that objection, right? How ABC house buyers got me more than I expected dash,
name of seller,
whatever it is,
location,
reviews. Same thing. And put those in your site.
That's a good question, Tony. It's funny, we were answering it before I realized that's the question he was asking. He said, should we break it up? And if so, how long it should be? I mean, length, like for testimonials, I don't know, anywhere from 30 seconds or a minute to up to 2 or 3 minutes. Past that, it's a little long. But yeah, keep the whole version up. It's easy to get caught up in like, oh, they said something really good here. They said something gold here. And it's easy to want to like pull all that stuff out of the video. But yeah, like Trevor said, just focus on the objections. One video per objection. Let's see. He said, if we break it up with them, what should we do with them? We answered that. Yeah, put them on YouTube and then put them on your website.
Put the whole thing on YouTube. So that 20-minute version, put it up. You can call it in depth, right? In depth, review of XYZ home buyers, from a seller. I mean, whatever it is, right? Whatever review, seller, probate seller, blah, dash in-depth review of XYZ home buyers.
Yeah.
Because then that way they know it's in depth. And then, like Brady said, you take then your 5 chopped up versions that are 30 seconds, a minute and a half, whatever they are. And those get uploaded on there as well.
Yeah. And it helps with your SEO too. Sometimes those videos will pop up in organic search. So it's good. Casey, this is a good question. Have any examples of great about videos, sitting, standing, walking outside, etc.? So 2 things. We have a guide, carrot.com/video. I put this together a while back, but it's all sorts of topics and questions and basically like all your video marketing 101 stuff. So we've even got scripts for videos in there. Go check that out. It's totally free. Casey, some of my favorite about videos I've seen are where they're believable and they have movement, like keep it interesting. So I think probably my favorite one, I can't remember who it was, but they're standing in front of a house and it's like,
Mm.
hey, my name's Brady with Brady Buys Houses. I'm here in Roseburg, Oregon. And I'm standing right in front of this house that we just closed off 123 Main Street. And the seller, blah, 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 blah. And it's a short little story.
Yep.
And then it's, by the way, we help people in any situation. If that sounds like you, feel free to give us a call, fill out the form on our website. You almost don't even realize it's an about video.
Yeah.
I think those are some of my favorites. I was gonna say if you have a gimbal, but the new iPhones are pretty stable now. Just holding your cell phone out in front of you, walking down the sidewalk in a neighborhood. Maybe it's a neighborhood that you do business within. Because again, it's just you see the properties around you, and it's just super credible. Like, okay, that
Yeah.
guy's actually in Louisville. Um, I'd say the ones I don't like are the ones where it's just sitting at their desk. It's really dimly
Yeah.
lit and grainy, and they're just like reading something off the screen from left to right, and you can see their eyes moving a whole lot.
Mhm.
That's why I say try and memorize it or read it off your phone or a teleprompter
Yeah.
app on your phone. It's worth doing because it just feels totally different.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can make or break the believability of an about video.
Yep.
But honestly, like don't get overcomplicated with the edits. Unless it's like a TV commercial and you have something fancy that like really
Mhm.
matches your specific brand. Just do a selfie style walking down a neighborhood or in front of a house that you've sold.
Yep.
Yeah. I think there was another question. Oh, maybe not yet, but
I've got a few examples I can share really quick on my screen too. So I'm going to share kind of varying degrees here. Okay. So we've talked about Bo Hollis right here. So he has an about video, and I'm on his about page, and it's got some good stuff. The main way he kind of brings himself into this is he is a really personal dude. He loves talking with the sellers. He's just him. He runs a multiple 7-figure wholesaling and flipping business with just him. And he leverages his attorneys and other people, as his kind of quote unquote team. So you'll see him with all of his sellers. And that's just part of what gives him energy. But then when you go down, it's a little bit about him, his big smiling face, right there in front of that cool building. And then he does have a good about video. This one is professionally shot. It's got good lighting. It's how a videographer did it. Might only cost you a few $100, right, to get some kid with a camera, including a really good iPhone, and just plunk it in there, get a little bit okay lighting. Doesn't have to be professional lighting, just okay lighting, and set it there. So go check out his. It's good. It walks through a little bit of his story. It does edit in some other stuff. So I would say this one is kind of more on the professional side. Okay.
I'd say a quick disclaimer. I'm so done with like the super cheesy, like that tech music. You know what I mean? Like that stock music, like the standard free music you find for like a tech company video. Please don't put that in there. Like have somebody that knows music, get something interesting, or just don't do any music at all. No music at all, and
I
you
would
just
say
talking.
no music.
Is way better than trying to get don't get overly creative with it.
Yeah.
As a creative, you're gonna make it worse. You're just gonna make it worse.
Yeah. Just go no music. Here's another one. Brad might be on this call. He's on a lot of these. He's in our Epic program, the high level program that I run. He's out of Atlanta, and I really, really like his. Here, he's got little videos for each of his team members, it looks like, and I haven't watched them.
I think he's got some of the best thumbnails, man.
Yeah. So guys, look at this. It's just him on his cell phone.
Yeah.
Right. It's just him on his cell phone.
We appreciate you checking us out. We want to make these videos because we're real people just like you.
See that? So it's nothing special.
And what's key about his is that background that he's in front of is the background that he does all his other videos in. So he's kind of established himself as like the go-to probate guy, which he was on the podcast recently. Go listen to that if you're into probate. Really good episode. But people are used to scrubbing through all his YouTube videos and like all these rabbit holes on probate. And so when they see that video, it's instantly, it's Brad, the guy, but it's selfie, it's moving around. And
and it's personal. And then I really like what he's done here. Any of the team members that someone may be working with, they've just got a video here.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, so it looks like they're with the client. So that's cool. So that's kind of, there's no editing there. I mean, literally, it's Brad in vertical style on his cell phone, and they added a thumbnail is all they did. So you can go get thumbnails off of Fiverr for $5. and they put that thumbnail there, so there's no editing on here,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I love it. And
That's
then over
it.
here,
I'd say if you're shooting far away like that, like try to get it a little closer so the audio is good. Sometimes it's like
yeah,
hard to hear them, or just get one of those little cheap mics off Amazon. You can plug in your iPhone and hand it to them.
100%. And this is one I'm not going to play the whole thing, but if you wanted to look at like the really professional kind of fully produced, this is the largest home buyer in
Tennessee home buyers.
in Tennessee, and my good friend Dan Lane. Dan's actually going to be speaking and joining us at the next Epic Intensive.
Oh, nice.
Dan's got a big business, and he's found a way over the last decade to step out of the business. He has a CEO running it, and he just goes and does what he loves to do.
Yeah.
But you can see he does a lot of TV advertising, and he's the guy in the commercials. So then when we talk about what does credibility mean, then even though Dan's not the guy who's going to actually see the seller, Dan's the guy in the commercial. So Dan better be on the website, right? If Dan is not on the website, but he's in the commercial, that's a gap in credibility. And so he does play that role still, but his video is a really, really well-produced video.
Yeah.
They've got the resources for it. They've got the team, and that follows their positioning. Once again, their positioning is we are a professional company. We show up with our polos and our logo. We've got the vans with our logo on it. We are the professional big home buyer in the market.
Yeah.
If you're the dude or the gal and you're the mom and pop, your branding should be, hey, this is Brad or this is Trevor. That's your positioning. I'm local. I'm approachable. I'm a person that you can work with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. And still, it's relatively inexpensive for how much the video is going to pay off. You're
Yeah.
looking like maybe $1,500, a couple grand ish for
Mhm.
like a highly produced video like that from a local media company.
Yep,
Totally worth it.
exactly.
Let's look at I want to show a couple credibility bars.
Yeah.
I think it's the only thing we haven't covered.
For sure.
Let us know, guys, if you have any questions. Again, put them in the chat. These are great questions.
Mhm.
You've seen some video examples, seen some testimonial examples. Let's look at credibility bars, and then we're probably going to
Yeah.
wrap it up.
So I'm going to show this one right here. So this is Ryan Dossi. Ryan, big investor. He owns soldfast.com, and they franchise that out now to people all over the country, which is awesome. We're working with him on that. So you see right here in his hero, here's the call to action. I wouldn't, here's the little caveat, guys. I would not change your button to say, see my options. Okay. That's something I should connect with Ryan on to test, but my gut is that's probably lowering his conversion a little bit, but I can't say for sure, but my gut and my experience it is. So don't copy that. But what I do love here, it's got a picture of a guy, and it's actually holding a Sold Fast sign. So that's probably a client of theirs, right? So that adds credibility. It's a real picture, a real sold sign with their logo on it, not photoshopped on, not a Fiverr fakie, right?
Yep.
Then up here, Better Business Bureau. So when we're talking about credibility, again, we have to ask the question with our prospects that we're working with, what do they like to see that they consider credible? And for the demographic that, let's say for sure 55 and over, maybe it might be more like 65 and over now. Better Business Bureau is a credible source for them. Now, our age here, I don't ever look at Better Business Bureau for anything. I don't care about Better Business Bureau. I look at Google reviews. I look at Yelp if it's a restaurant. I'm looking at the online third-party review sources, not the
maybe Facebook, especially if you're running like Facebook ads.
Yep, exactly.
Sometimes people forget about that.
Yeah, so they've got the Google 5-star thing over here, and then they've got a testimonial here. Hey, thank you so much for an easy process. You're all wonderful, Dosey Wells. Great. But this right here is the credibility bar. So right below this call to action area that already has credibility, now they're putting a testimonial here. Now, if I were to improve this here, I'd probably actually put a picture of the client there with their house maybe, or with you. And I would pull out a better title here. They gave me Peace of Mind isn't a bad one. I think it's pretty decent. But I would probably pick a testimonial that specifically eliminated the objection that is maybe the biggest objection that they encounter. Okay. The way you do that, hop into the back end of your Carrot site. I know we have tutorials on how to do this, but go to the content section here. And if it's been a bit since you guys have been into the back end, we have the content section that our team rolled out last year that kind of just better organizes you finding the content you have. Okay. It's going to tell you some stats and some data, some location pages that you have set up. We're going to go to the pages section, and I'm just going to go to the homepage. Excuse me. It's got your homepage right there up at the top. Usually, we're going to scroll down here, and the credibility bar is going to be this little dude out here. So if I wanted to add a credibility bar where there is not one already existing, I can choose this section I want to add it. Click the little plus thing, and you're going to see a credibility bar option. Or if you don't see it, you can look it up. And we have a credibility bar, which is a testimonial, or you can do a gallery of images. Let me grab a quick drink. And if you did a gallery of images, like I'll see some people use logos or something, right? And they can put their Google reviews and Facebook reviews and whatever logos there. Or
Yeah.
if I'm a marketing agency and I have 4 or 5 amazing clients that those logos are recognizable, I might put those logos there as an example. But in this case, let's use data or testimonial. So I'm going to use a testimonial credibility bar. This is one that it's suggesting to add in there. We can change. Excuse me. We can change it. Man, talking too much. Let's get rid of this. I don't want to add that one in there. Let's go ahead and add a different one here. We'll go credibility bar. So it's not letting me one because I already added one there. So I'm going to get rid of the other one up there. Okay. Let's delete this bad boy. Click delete. Bam, it's gone. And I'm going to choose a different option there. The one thing with if you choose the testimonials one is it automatically grabs a testimonial from your testimonials tab. Okay. My preference, this is just my preference, is unless you have your testimonials really, really well formatted in that testimonials tab, and I'll show you guys what I mean here in a second, unless they're really well formatted, they're probably not going to be good ones to put in your credibility bar.
Yeah.
Because you might have all these testimonials, they're big long sentences or full paragraphs, and those go to your reviews page. Great. That's an automation we create to help you save time. But that same one will not work in a credibility bar on a homepage.
Right.
So I might just choose credibility bar, and I might just type in my own content here, right? So I'm going to add in just a paragraph of content. I'm going to type in whatever, it was great to work with Johnny or something like that. It was great to work with him. I might add an image in here somewhere down here. I'll put their name, Mark Miller, Roseburg house seller 2024. And then I'm going to put their picture of a house somewhere on here in this area. Okay. So let me just see this really quick. See if I can just add an image in here on the fly. It may or may not do what I want it to do, but we'll see, because I didn't upload these images, so they're probably going to be too big. I would want to make sure to upload images that are the right size, but we'll give this one a go. That one's way too big. Let's just throw this one in there for illustration's sake. Like I said, I already knew it was going to be way too big, so I can shrink it down. I can then put it in the right spot, align it wherever I need to align it, and then we're good to go. Now I'm going to, of course, move this down. Let's bump it down. Let's bump it down. We want to get it down below the hero section, which is not wanting to do for some reason. And then we're just going to go ahead and click save on that thing. Okay. It's not going where I want it to go. So we'll have to see why I didn't do that. But guys, use that credibility bar and check it out.
Sweet. All right. Let me check Facebook, see if we got any questions that we missed. I think that's it. I think those are good questions. I appreciate you, Casey, Tony, popping in and answering those or asking those questions. Tony, let us know if that you got a testimonial, you got a review from a seller. If that was that land lead you got a few weeks ago, let us know, man. It'd be super exciting if that was that carrot lead you got. But yeah, props to you, man. All right, everybody, that is it for today's live show. Appreciate you guys popping in, asking questions. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, like I said, there's no excuse to not go do this on your site. You can do this in under an hour. It's easy stuff. Let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help. Next week, Carlos, John, myself are going to be hopping on, talking about how to create an automated follow-up campaign. So this is going to be super fun. It's a really good way to automatically follow up with leads so that leads coming in through your carrot site don't accidentally slip through the cracks. So it's going to be a good episode. But again, hope you guys found this helpful and appreciate you hopping on. We will see y'all next week.
Appreciate you guys.